Chosen one. This is not just another message. This is a soul dispatch from beyond the veil. And if you found this, Spirit led you here because your frequency is being watched, weighed, and warred over. August 6th through 9th, 2025 is not just a series of dates on a calendar. It's an energetic gauntlet cloaked in disguise, a volatile portal dressed like a normal week, but vibrating with frequencies that could either catapult you into divine clarity or entangle you in karmic chaos so dense you won't recognize your own energy by the end of it. You need to understand this. You cannot afford to be around just anyone during this sacred and sensitive threshold. The cosmos are cracking open, and what's leaking out is not just light, it's distortion, shadow, and ancient interference. The moon will be hypercharged, scanning your energy field like a divine MRI, looking for leaks, unresolved contracts, emotional wounds still bleeding in silence. Mercury may glitch, twist, and tangle communication, making misunderstandings. The norm and clarity feel like a mirage. Mars will ignite the raw, unprocessed shadows within those around you, and Lilith, wild and unyielding, will bring the hidden rage and rejection codes to the surface. This is not a time for casual company, not a time for appeasement. This is a soul protection window. One wrong energy in your field, and you could be pulled into a timeline not meant for you. One conversation with the wrong person, and you could entangle your frequency with a karmic test that's not even yours. You're not crazy for needing to be alone. You're called to be alone. Because during August 6th and 9th, solitude isn't loneliness, it's spiritual insulation. Spirit is whispering, warning, and waiting. But if you're surrounded by noise, you won't hear it. And silence isn't empty. It's where your next instructions will arrive. The air around August 6th to 9th isn't just thick, it's electrified. Like static, just before lightning strikes. Chosen one, you may already be feeling the tremors in your soul. Sudden waves of exhaustion. Vivid dreams, strange déjà vu, emotional flashbacks that seem to have no trigger. This is the pre-storm stirring. The celestial mechanics are already moving, the veil is thinning. And whether you know it or not, your aura is being scanned by higher realms and lower forces alike. There is a spiritual reckoning coded into these days, a divine inspection of your energy, your attachments, your spiritual hygiene. And if you are not discerning, if you are not awake, you could find yourself absorbing energies that were never meant to be yours. The moon, sensitive, psychic, and surgical, will enter a phase of hyperluminosity, illuminating every thread still attached to outdated frequencies. It's not just shedding light, it's pulling cords. It's revealing energetic parasites that have been hiding in comfort, in routine, and false peace. People you thought were safe may suddenly reveal shadows you weren't meant to carry. Environments you've tolerated may begin to feel suffocating. This is not a coincidence, it's a cosmic correction. And during these days, even a casual conversation could be a spiritual hook. Even a text message could be a timeline shift. That's why Spirit is sounding the alarm. Pull back, go within, consecrate your solitude. Because in the stillness, your soul will finally speak. But if you're entangled in someone else's karmic storm, their chaos will drown out your clarity. Mercury, the cosmic messenger, may be moving erratically or under stress during this window. And whether it's retrograde, in shadow, or simply aspected by malefics, the impact is the same. Distortion, words will carry extra weight, or none at all. Meanings will slip through the cracks, and intentions will be misunderstood. Be very careful who you speak to, what you agree to, and what conversations you initiate. This is not the time to explain yourself, prove your growth, or entertain emotional confusion. Silence will speak louder than explanation. Detachment will protect you better than confrontation. There will be a lot of projections swirling in the air, people throwing their unhealed wounds at you like psychic grenades. If you're not grounded in your center, their pain will infiltrate your peace. You'll find yourself defending your energy when you should be conserving it. You'll waste precious spiritual bandwidth trying to decode someone else's storm, forgetting that your own frequency is sacred ground. And this is exactly how timeline hijacking happens, not in massive dramatic events, but in subtle, energetic breaches. A 5-minute argument can undo a month of inner work. A coffee date with the wrong soul can reopen portals you just closed. You have to treat your energy like a temple right now. No random visitors, no spiritual tourists, no half-healed people poking around your aura looking for validation or access. These aren't just boundaries, they're battle lines. In August, 6 to 9 is the battlefield. Choose your peace over your people. Choose your calling over your comfort. Because Spirit isn't asking you to be liked. Spirit is asking you to be clear. Mars and Lilith, two celestial bodies that do not ask permission, that do not whisper but roar, are stirring deeply during this window. Mars is the raw force of instinct, of action, of anger and assertion. Lilith, the dark feminine, is the part of us that remembers every exile, every silencing, every betrayal. When they meet or interact, especially under a volatile moon, it doesn't just create emotional friction, it births spiritual combustion. You may notice people around you suddenly acting out of character, passive people becoming explosive, emotionally grounded individuals lashing out irrationally. But what's actually happening is possession, not the Hollywood version, but energetic possession by unhealed shadows. Triggers will erupt out of nowhere, but they won't be coming from you. They'll be seeking you because your light exposes unresolved pain in others. Your calm disrupts their chaos. Your discernment threatens their illusions. That's why you must not be around just anyone. Even those you love may not be energetically safe during this time, because their wounds, left unchecked, can latch on to your open heart like spiritual leeches. And the worst part, if you absorb their chaos in this window, it may not release easily. August 6th and 9th isn't just any storm. It's a soul storm with staying power. Enter it exposed, and you may spend weeks untangling yourself from karma that never belonged to you. This lunar portal is not subtle, it is surgical. The moon, especially when interacting with Saturn, Pluto, or Chiron, becomes a scalpel in the hands of the divine, cutting open everything you've hidden beneath "I'm fine." And when it does, the emotional purging will not be optional. This isn't sadness you can suppress. It's soul like that demands to be felt, faced, and freed. If you're surrounded by people who don't know how to hold that sacred space, if you're around those who shame your sensitivity, question your intuition, or fear your transformation, you're not just unsupported, you're endangered. Because what's being activated is your deepest blueprint. Ancestral pain, past life residue, inner child wounds. They're all rising up for purification. And if someone around you doesn't understand energetic sovereignty, they'll unconsciously project their discomfort onto you. They'll try to shut down your process because it mirrors a process they're not ready to begin. This is why you need solitude. Not isolation from love, but insulation from interference. Because what Spirit is trying to reveal to you in these days is coded in silence, shadow, and stillness. You won't find it in noise. You won't hear it through another person's filter. And you won't receive it if your field is full of energies that don't even belong to you. During this volatile window, a strange fog may settle over your consciousness. Not confusion from within, but psychic interference from without. This is what I call astral static, a kind of energetic haze that descends when multiple planetary forces cross wires in the sky. You'll feel it as forgetfulness, scattered thoughts, emotional whiplash. Clarity one moment, complete. Emotional overwhelm the next. This fog is not random. It's a product of unseen frequencies, a spiritual smog designed to make you question yourself, doubt your progress, or reopen doors you were finally strong enough to close. It often comes with intrusive thoughts, energetic flashbacks, or sudden longings for connections you know are not aligned. That's how subtle and slippery this energy is. It's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to distract you. And for a chosen one, distraction is one of the most dangerous tools of spiritual warfare. Because if they can't lower your frequency outright, they'll scatter it. They'll keep you busy trying to figure out what's wrong, when nothing is wrong except the fact that you're too exposed. That's why solitude right now isn't avoidance. It's a recalibration. You're clearing the psychic fog and calling all your energy back home. Emotional crossfires will be common, soul clashes that seem to come out of nowhere, often with those closest to you. Why? Because when the moon touches Saturn, Pluto, or Chiron, it doesn't just activate your wounds, it lights up theirs. 2. And if you're the more spiritually awake one, they'll instinctively look to you for emotional regulation, or worse, they'll make you responsible for their pain. Do not carry what is not yours. Do not explain your boundaries to those who never respected them. Do not shrink just to keep others comfortable in their emotional chaos. That's not love. That's energetic codependency, disguised as compassion, and you've outgrown it. August 6th to 9th will reveal who honors your evolution and who only loves the version of you that stays small, agreeable, available. Every misunderstanding during this time is a revelation. Every triggered interaction is a cosmic mirror. The question is, will you recognize the test? Or will you fall back into the loop, the caretaking, the explaining, the appeasing? Spirit is watching, not to punish, but to graduate you. Because elevation requires separation, and not everyone can come with you. Here's the spiritual truth no one tells you. Some people are karmic portals in human form. Their presence reactivates soul contracts you already dissolved. Their voice reopens timelines you already closed. And during this window, those kinds of energies are magnetized to the chosen ones. Why? Because your field is ripe. You're standing on the edge of breakthrough. But interference doesn't always come looking like a demon. Sometimes it wears the face of a lover, a best friend, a just checking in text from someone who once shattered your peace. Don't fall for the bait. The test isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in nostalgia, in loneliness, in the desire to reconnect with what is familiar. But familiar doesn't mean aligned. What's familiar is often what your soul came to transcend, and if you don't recognize this test, you'll reopen cycles you bled to escape. That's why August 6th to 9th is sacred, because it shows you, in stark relief, who still has energetic access to you. And if they do, ask yourself, should they? Energy doesn't lie, even when people do. And during this portal, your intuition will be piercingly accurate. You'll feel people's vibrations before they speak. You'll sense misalignment in the tone of a message. You'll walk into a room and feel the heaviness lingering. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't explain it away. If someone's energy feels louder than your soul, that's your cue to step back. If your body tenses before a conversation, that's your boundary speaking. If your heart races when a name lights up your phone, that's your nervous system trying to protect you. Trust it. These signals are not just emotions. They're divine alerts coded into your body. You're not just spiritually gifted, you're spiritually sensitive. And that's a power, not a problem. But power, without protection, is exposure. And your gifts are too precious to be bled out in spaces that can't hold them. This window is a training ground. You're being taught to choose your peace over your programming. So many chosen ones confuse solitude with punishment, as if being alone means something is wrong. But solitude, especially in this window, is a sanctuary. It is where your angels speak without interference. It is where your frequency reclaims its original tone. It is where clarity crystallizes like sacred geometry in your mind's eye. You are not withdrawing. You are recalibrating. You are not avoiding the world. You are returning to yourself. And from that center, everything else becomes clear. The truth is, the deepest revelations won't come through a conversation. They'll arrive in the quiet moment after you've unplugged. The most healing won't come from external validation. It'll pour in once you've cleared your field of all false resonance. Spirit wants to show you something in this portal. A vision, a direction, a truth about your path that could alter your future. But if you're too entangled, too distracted, too drained by others, you'll miss it. And you can't afford to miss this. Your destiny depends on clarity, and clarity requires space. Chosen one, understand. This window is not here to harm you. It is here to hone you. August 6th to 9th is not just a volatile passage. It is a cosmic refinement chamber. Think of it like this. When gold is purified, it is placed into fire. When a diamond is cut, it is done under pressure. When a soul is upgraded, it is often in solitude. This isn't isolation, it's initiation. Spirit is testing your frequency to see if you'll hold it when no one is clapping, supporting, or validating you. Can you stand in your truth even when no one around you reflects it back? Can you trust your intuition even when the external world tries to distort it? These days will tempt you to compromise, to entertain energies that almost align, to engage with people who feel familiar, but faintly wrong. This is the razor edge of discernment, because when you're being elevated to the next level of your divine assignment, the universe sends exams, not punishments, proof. You are being asked to graduate from needing external clarity to embodying internal sovereignty. That means you must stop looking for signs in someone else's behavior. Look within. Your body is the oracle. Your silence is the sacred scroll. Read it. Emotional possession is real, and during this portal, it will peak. You'll witness people losing their center, spiraling into reactions that feel disproportionate, intense, even otherworldly. This is not just mental or emotional, it's energetic. When Mars and Lilith activate at the same time that the moon scans your soul wounds, the unintegrated parts of others may begin acting through them. Old trauma becomes behavior. Repressed rage becomes projection. Inner abandonment becomes codependent, cling. Don't get caught in someone else's possession, spiral. You can hold compassion without absorbing chaos. But if you let someone else's shadow dictate your movement, you're no longer sovereign, you're entangled. These moments are invitations to choose your own frequency over someone else's emergency. It's not cold, it's sacred. You are not a dumping ground. You are not a filter for another soul's poison. During this time, guard your peace, like a throne. Because when peace is disturbed in this window, it's not a mood, it's a message. Something is off. Something is leaking. And if you don't correct it quickly, it can metastasize spiritually. You've likely noticed the mirroring already beginning. People from your past resurfacing. Old emotional patterns knocking on the door of your psyche. Synchronicities showing up in repeating numbers, dream symbols, and strange conversations that feel like déjà vu. This is karmic mirroring, the universe showing you, one last time, what you've truly outgrown. These aren't coincidences. These are final reflections before timeline collapse. When a major shift is near, the universe brings back old vibrations. To test your resonance, will you still engage? Will you still ignore your intuition? Will you still sacrifice alignment for approval? These next few days are a reflection of the residues still clinging to your field. That person texting you, that mood swing out of nowhere, that sudden doubt about your path. Not random, it's data. Read it wisely. Solitude lets you decode the patterns without the noise. But if you're surrounded by people who are still repeating their loops, you'll be pulled into the same spiral. Not because you're weak, but because you're empathetic. Empathy, unguarded, becomes a spiritual liability. Guard it, and here's what most won't tell you. Even your closest relationships may need to be placed on spiritual pause during this window. It doesn't mean they're toxic. It doesn't mean they're wrong for you. But their field might be under distortion. And if you're energetically enmeshed, you won't be able to tell whose thoughts are yours and whose emotions are theirs. That's dangerous during this time, because you're receiving divine downloads. But if your channel is cluttered, they'll never land. Spirit may be trying to send you guidance, but if you're still plugged into someone else's emotional frequency, your signal is scrambled. This is why prophets, seers, mystics, they all practiced solitude. It wasn't about arrogance. It was about accuracy. You were being called to sharpen your channel, to hear without distortion, to feel without interference. That means boundaries. That means energetic detox. That means asking yourself daily, is this mine, or am I carrying someone else's storm? And if the answer isn't clear, retreat, because clarity always follows solitude. Confusion follows chaos. You're not being tested for punishment. You're being prepared for revelation. The visions coming to you in these days will shape your next season. The insights landing in your body will rewrite the trajectory of your mission, but only if you make room. That's why solitude isn't optional. It's sacred. You are in a divine cocoon right now, and if you force yourself to be social, to be accommodating, to maintain appearances, you're suffocating your own metamorphosis. There are answers coded in your silence. There are activations happening, In your sleep, there are guides trying to reach you through chills, through dreams, through that sudden urge to be alone. Follow it. Don't fight the pull inward. You are not meant to be available to everyone right now. You are meant to be available to Spirit, and Spirit is whispering the coordinates to your next timeline, one that requires less compromise, more truth, less proving, more presence. But you won't hear it through distraction. You'll hear it in the breath between your thoughts, in the stillness between your steps. Go there. That's where your future is forming. Chosen one, you are not being abandoned. You are being anointed. But the anointing does not come in crowds. It does not come through noise. It comes in the wilderness, the silence, the stillness, where Spirit can finally find you free from interference. August 6th to 9th is a cosmic checkpoint where the universe will ask one sacred question. Can you hold your frequency, even when no one else around you is holding theirs? This is where spiritual maturity is no longer a concept. It becomes your currency. This is the moment you realize your peace is not passive. It's a power source. And if you leak it to every emotionally unstable interaction, you'll find yourself spiritually bankrupt just when you were meant to be upgraded. This isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about becoming consecrated. You are not here to lower your tone to be understood. You are here to become a clear bell of resonance, ringing louder than distortion, unshaken by the tremors in others. And to do that, you have to stand alone sometimes, not as punishment, but as proof that your soul no longer needs chaos to feel alive. You're being tested in the most subtle yet seismic ways. Can you walk away when your ego wants to be validated? Can you stay silent when your old self would have lashed out? Can you choose your higher timeline over your old triggers? Because this window will present you with echoes from your past, opportunities to repeat or rise. You may be tempted to text that ex, reconnect with that old friend, explain yourself to someone who never truly heard you. Don't. This is bait dressed as closure, a karmic flashback disguised as fate. Spirit is saying, we're watching to see if you believe you're worthy of more. The test is never about the other person. It's about your frequency. Do you believe you're ready to move forward? Then act like it. Don't reopen doors you prayed to forget. Don't romanticize cycles that nearly broke you. Walk like you already received the healing. Move like your future is already watching you, because it is. Every decision during this window is a frequency lock, and the codes you enter now will echo into your next reality. Solitude during this window isn't quiet, it's cosmically loud. In it, you will hear the echoes of your soul, the voice of your guides, and the soft vibrations of timelines aligning. But you must be still enough to hear them. There are sacred downloads that only come when the world falls away. Visions that only visit you when your heart is soft enough to receive them. This is why chosen ones have always been called into solitude before elevation. Moses went to the mountain, Jesus to the desert, the oracle to the cave. These weren't myths, they were blueprints. You are being pulled back not to shrink, but to shed. Every moment of quiet is a calibration. Every skipped social event is a portal preserved. And if you can sit in this sacred silence long enough, the messages will come as dreams, as chills, as flashes of insight that arrive with no logical explanation. Don't question them, record them. The blueprint for your next chapter is arriving in fragments. Piece them together. They are the map to your divine assignment. Understand this. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being aligned. The world has taught you to fear stillness, to see silence as absence. But in spiritual truth, stillness is presence amplified. In this silence, your aura expands. Your guides draw closer. Your soul begins to speak in full sentences. But if you keep filling the space with distractions, you'll miss the most important message of the year. This test of solitude is also a test of trust. Can you trust yourself enough to be still? Can you trust that you don't need to explain your withdrawal, that your energy knows when to open and when to protect? Can you trust that the people who are truly aligned with your next level will understand your silence as sacred, not personal? Because if they demand access to your peace during your purification, they are not your people. Let them go. Solitude during this time is your spiritual firewall. It's not a luxury. It's divine instruction. This portal is not about punishment. It's about preparation. The deeper your solitude, the clearer your vision. The more you detach, the higher you rise. And you are not being called into quiet to lose your connections. You're being called into quiet to realign them, to see what still resonates when you're fully rooted in your truth, to witness who respects your boundaries without needing constant access, because the people who belong in your next chapter won't panic when you go quiet. They'll pray for your clarity. This is a test of your intuitive trust. Can you follow your inner pull without external validation? Can you walk through the fog with faith that you're still guided? Because you are. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, the spirit realm is rearranging everything on your behalf. But your stillness is the signal that says, I'm ready. I trust. I'm listening. Let the noise fall away. Let the world spin. And stand still like a mountain rooted in knowing you are not alone. You are being aligned.